We live.
Oh.
Yeah, we live, bro.
Okay. A Beat the Line broadcast, episode 39, UFC 304 with our guest, Nick Picks. Welcome back, brother. So, what do you guys think of this card? I think it's actually a banger from start to bottom for the most part, outside of this girls' fight, but I'm sure Key's excited
Whoa,
about that.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Watch your fucking mouth. Watch your
Yeah.
fucking mouth.
So, all right. Well, let's get right into this because as of right now, it's giving me a premium account on X is required to create a live broadcast on their platform. Please upgrade a premium subscription on X. What the fuck? I don't know. That's our problem. First fight of the night: Shauna Bannon versus Alice Ardelean. Shauna Bannon, 35'5" with 65-inch reach. Alice is 32'6'3" to 61-inch reach. Odds in these two ladies. Bannon anywhere from minus 160 to minus 170. Alice anywhere from plus 156 to plus 140. Key, do your stuff. Tell us more.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. I mean, this is my true Super Bowl. Like probably one of my no bullshit top 5 favorite low level women's MMA fights of the year. This is just this is level of meme that you just don't see in the UFC. If you want to see good hard training footage, please check out Alice Ardelean's Instagram, Twitter. I mean, she has great content, heavy bag stuff. I mean, just a lot of great training content. I think that this is for me personally, I was actually on Bet Online and Dub Club before this even dropped on Fight Odds. So I caught the opener at plus 250, played it all the way down to plus 150 on Alice. She's mean. I mean, you can't say that she's faced a high level of competition because she hasn't. I mean, yeah, she's fought Whaley and Belbita back in the day, but I don't chalk that up to her. That's not the same fighter we're getting. She's beat up on a couple girls in recent memory, but Bannon's just not. I mean, she's touching you. I mean, I sadly bet her against Brazil at like plus 120 something. And she actually won that third round, which shows how bad Brazil is. But the only thing here that gives me an idea that Bannon's going to win this fight is the fact that is the fact that she has a big speed advantage. But Alice hits hard. She's mean. She stuffs takedowns. I don't see Bannon landing on any top time here. And Alice is going to win the moments. I mean, I guess the UFC is trying to – I can't say that they're trying to push Bannon, but I don't know why they would sign her. Alice has a little bit of Aileen Perez-type meme potential in the UFC. That's the vibe that I get. Some ass shaking after some wins and some mean strikes. So I think that Alice is a side here. I'm pretty confident at a big plus money. I really don't see how Bannon justifies favorite price tag here outside of like random sub or Alice just absolutely death gassing because she's taking this on short notice. But it's not like Bannon has this crazy pace. She's not hitting hard. Alice is going to land the harder strikes. She's going to be the bigger girl. So Alice is a side for me in this fight.
All right. Drop, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on it. I think he broke it down perfectly. I think it's gonna be a close fight. It got to be dog or pass. I mean, Bannon doesn't really separate against pretty much anyone, and she's not a finisher, you know. But again, this girl is making her UFC debut on short notice. We know sometimes these fighters making their debut doesn't perform their best, and the next time the next fight they came back better. They come back better, but here to me it's really hard for me to Bannon was like minus 250 at some point, so I don't think we can get to a price like that. But at the current price is like around minus 150 for her. I don't really I don't think it's that wide. Let's say I just think it should be 50-50 or 60-40 one side or another. So I think he got a very good number, like plus 2xx or something on the other girl, because it's probably going to be close. I mean, Bannon has like the karate style, and I was a little bit when she made her debut, I had some hope. I thought she would beat Bruna Brazil, but she looked bad in that fight to me. I don't know if that was her debut, and then she's gonna look better. But yeah, I'm just not impressed with her. And then Elise, like Key said, she looked pretty decent on day, but against pretty much nobody. So it's hard for me to see how she's gonna look here, UFC debut, and first against a step up. I can say that. But yeah, the fight's gonna be fun to watch, but maybe not for the level of the fight, if you know what I mean.
So let's take a look at what I have written down. So Key got a pretty good line. I want to note that I alerted him to that line, and then he moved it on me, pulled the rug right out from under me. It was actually unbelievable. Is that one of your boys? I don't know. Could never be me. But yeah, I think I lean Alice here. I think she's got the heavier hands. If you go watch the Wei Lee fight, I mean, outside of that, she's got a big ass. She's got good physicality. I mean, I think I wrote just like he said, a mean demeanor. So I think that's the case. And, Shauna sucks. She's not that great on the feet. She's pretty small for the weight class. And then I wrote here, sucks. So that's kind of all I have to say. She's very unimpressive, and at dog odds, probably play Alice. But as of right now, it's at plus 140. Not worth it for me. Probably going to take a shot at plus 400 for Alice by decision. McPix, what do you think?
Yeah, you guys broke it down pretty well. I will touch on a couple of things. Like Key mentioned, Elise, she hasn't really fought anyone, but Bannon really hasn't either outside of Bruna, Brazil. You look at her whole record. She fought a bunch of nobodies. The best person she fought was in the amateur scene. She fought Dakota Decheva, who's a stud. But I would just wish that Elise wasn't taking this fight on short notice. I had no idea who she was until I looked into her fights. She's tenacious. She throws some good combinations, really fast strikes. But I don't know. And Bannon, the reason why the UFC's one of the reasons why I think the UFC's promoting her is because it's Conor McGregor's girl. He tweets at her and talks about her. So, but Bannon's bigger. She has a full camp here, a little bit younger, and yeah, it's probably dog or pass. No strong leans on this one, but yeah, I would just go Bannon as a pick, just because full camp, but not a good read on this one.
No problem. Let's go on to our next one. Next fight. We're going in Tapology order. I don't even know if this is right or not. Next fight is Mick Parkin versus Lukasz Brzeski. Mick Parkin, he is 28, he's 6'4", the 79-inch reach. Brzeski is 32, 6'4", the 78-inch reach. Line on these two gentlemen, you get Mick Parkin anywhere from minus 265 to minus 300. You can get Brzeski anywhere from plus 200 to plus 245. I think I'll break this one down first just because I think Mick Parkin is the lock of the card. I think he's probably the most likely to win out of anyone else on the card. Looking at it, he's the better striker. He comes with a better game plan. He's the better wrestler. We've seen Brzeski taken down a million times. Doesn't have good takedown defense. He just doesn't look like that good of a fighter. Walter Walker, he fraud checked him, but that doesn't say much. I didn't think Walter Walker was that good either. So I think if Walter Walker didn't gas, he probably would have beat him. I don't know about the sub in 2-3. I mean, I kind of lean it going a boring decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if he subbed him on the ground. I mean, he's been working on his jiu-jitsu with that Fish Tank MMA, which is Tom Aspinall's gym. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. Probably the sub would come later for sure once Brzeski's tired, but I think this is an easy Mick Parkin spot. I'm looking for someone to parlay him with. I still haven't figured that out, but hopefully I do by the end of this show. McPix, what do you got here? Who do you like in this? Do you like Parkin or Brzeski?
Yeah, I agree. I think Parkin takes this one. Fighting in England, his home country. What my concern is, the only time I thought that Parkin looked terrible was against Kyle Machado. He arguably could have lost that one. And I think it's because he wrestled, to be honest. I think that Parkin has really good striking cardio, but when he grapples, he seemed to fatigue. He looked exhausted that third round against Kyle Machado. So, but Brzeski is not someone that's going to push a pace in the third round or anything like that. So I think Parkin's a better striker. He's cleaner. He lands a bunch of volume as well. And, yeah, I think he takes this one probably by decision.
Drav, what do you think of this comment from Champ?
Yeah, I think he looked very good against Bogues, to be honest. But to make big points, he didn't. I don't recall him grappling a lot in that fight, but he did in the he did grapple a little bit more in the Machado fight where he tired out. Maybe that's why he didn't look as good. It's just hard to get to a price like that on him, just because he doesn't really. He's not an elite finisher, and on the feet he's kind of low volume sometimes, and he's kind of in close fights. I mean, I bet him against Usman, and the fight was a little bit closer than I thought it would be. But here, the biggest difference is really in the grappling to me. Like in the cardio, also, I don't think Parkin has like the best cardio of all time, but he has the better cardio. I think Brzeski's gasser, and Brzeski ground game is not bad. Like he doesn't have poor takedown defense, or he has decent get up game, let's say, but it's jiu-jitsu on the ground, like it's not good. And Parkin, like you guys said, has been working on it with Aspinall. And I think if he wants here, if he gets on top, I think could find a sub. And he doesn't have a finish yet in the UFC, but maybe it's the spot here. He's fighting at home against a guy that's gonna tire out, that doesn't have a good ground game. So the sub 2-3, I don't mind it either. I think that's a good way to play him. But yeah, more often than not, he probably win a decision. But I think he's the one with more finishing upside. He's the one fighting at home, so every time he's gonna do something, the crowd's gonna go a little bit more crazy. We're probably gonna talk about it a little bit into other fights, but that's a factor for this card. Some fights the high altitude, but this one is the UK fan, the crowd, etc. So the big when Parkin's gonna land a big shot, the crowd's gonna go crazy. It's gonna maybe affect the judges. We can't really know, right? Because every fight is different, but it's still something in Mick Parkin's favor. And I mean, he's what 3-0 in the UFC at this point, and yeah, Brzeski is not great to me. He did good. He did almost beat Marcin Budai. I know people thought that he won that fight. He has good volume for a heavyweight. He's not a bad striker, but the guy was on steroid before, and now he's not, and he's fat. So that's I just feel like Mick Parkin should rose. But what's the price now? It's like -3 something.
Minus 265 to minus 300. I say before every breakdown drop.
It was a little bit like -200. It was better for parlay. Now I'm not too sure about the current price, but I still think you win in a high flip, to be honest. And now I'm just watching these Cage Warrior line moving the other way of the fight I want to bet. But it is what it is, right? Cage Warrior again tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. I watched the fight, the card last week with Key, and I was like, bro, these fight everybody's finishing the other person was fun as fuck, and with eye pace. So it's tomorrow. Gonna have some bets for that as well. But yeah, Key, are you on the Mick Parkin train with us or?
Yeah, I can't say so. At -280 at heavyweight, especially low level heavyweight, you got to have like serious finishing upside for me. And I like Mick. I bet him last time out against Mo Usman gladly. But at this price tag, I got to be somewhat confident that you're going to finish. And he's not a finisher, period. Like that's not one of his traits at this level. Do I think he can get the sub potentially? And I think that's the way that he justifies his price tag. But I'm not looking at -280 to watch you jab and low kick at 265 pounds. Like that's not what I'm into. So yeah, this is a pass for me. Early prices though, -200 and stuff like that, like that's a little bit different. But at this point, this is a pass.
No one sees the vision. I'm telling you, it's gonna look like the biggest lock of the card. Next fight.
You're kind of looking at now. We're all gonna lose the bets now. The luck of the card, he said.
Lock of the card. Mick Parkin -365 on FanDuel. Best spot on the card.
The L word.
Never use it.
All right, 1 second. Next fight is Sam Patterson versus Kiefer Crosbie. Sam Patterson, 28, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. Kiefer Crosbie, 34, 5'11" with a 70-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen: Sam Patterson unbettable at -360 to -450. Kiefer Crosbie anywhere from +340 to +255. Mick Picks, break it down for us first. I mean, Sam Patterson by sub is the only way to play this, right?
So this is the most recent fight that I looked into. And, Sam Patterson's really good. He's tall. He's long. He's fighting on home turf. He's going to have the better cardio here, the better ground game. What I don't like about him, two things, is one, he has the tall man defense, right, where he's leaning back, chins up in the air. You can get caught. He got caught at lightweight. He's moving up to welterweight now. It's his second fight at welterweight. But he's still going to be the way bigger fighter here. But the other thing is he doesn't wrestle. He doesn't initiate the grappling, which he should in this matchup. But at least he hasn't. I didn't see too much of him initiating any wrestling in his regional scene, and he hasn't yet in the UFC. Like, he's credited with 1 takedown so far, or 1.19 per 15 minutes takedown averaged. But if you watch that fight, it was his last fight against Johan Lioness, and it wasn't a traditional takedown. He had him in a front headlock, and he kind of dragged him down to the mat, and then eventually got the rear naked choke. But he doesn't really go for takedowns, and I don't believe Kiefer Crosbie is a guy that's going to shoot takedowns. He's going to strike. And this guy can crack, Kiefer Crosbie. I'm not saying he's going to win this fight, but like you said, Sam Patterson at -400. I mean, that's a risky price. I think a better way to play it would be to wait until it gets outside of round 1 and maybe get a decent price on Sam Patterson, because Kiefer Crosbie, he took his last fight on short notice, and it was a terrible matchup for him against Kevin Jousset. That dude's a brick. He's a tall man, but you really can't. It's tough to knock out. Sam Patterson, he's been knocked out twice now, both in the first round. And I was listening to an interview with Kiefer Crosbie, and basically he was saying, obviously you got to take these things that these guys say with a grain of salt sometimes, but he was basically saying that he took the fight on short notice his last time out, so he didn't want to really go for it because he was afraid he was going to gas out across 15 minutes. But he's like, pretty much now, I've been full camp and I'm ready to go. I'm going to bring it across 15 minutes. Obviously, every fighter is going to say that, but yeah, I don't know what to do with this one. If Sam Patterson actively grappled, I would take him easily by sub, or maybe the price is warranted. But I don't know what to do with this one. I think he wins the fight. I think maybe he eventually somehow gets it to the ground, whether it's a fall or maybe just some cage. He gets the back on the cage, but definitely a wide line to me.
I think his to Kiefer's credit too, his boxing's pretty good. He's pretty good boxer, and like you said, I think the biggest issue with Sam is he keeps his chin held very high in the air. I cashed a Ashmall ticket against him in that fight at 155 with the knockout. I thought, just for exactly what you said, guy hangs his head up in the air all the time, due to get clipped, and that guy Ashmall has power, so it was pretty straightforward. Do you guys think Sam's the parlay buster, or do you think he gets a KO in round 1? I kind of lean the sub, to be honest. Kiefer Crosby's relatively durable, I feel like, with punching wise. What do you think?
Yeah, again, it's -400 now. You can't be playing him. I parlayed him last week early at -290. I think that was a good parlay piece. I don't think he's gonna lose, but now we're getting -400. It's dicey because, like Mick said, and that's spot on. He doesn't really wrestle a lot. And he's not a bad striker. The guy can crack. He has good boxing. And Sam Patterson is here with the chin up in the air, and that's always scary. He doesn't have the best chin ever. But I think the guy is a pretty good fighter, to be honest. He has the long arms, very good front chokes. He's a good grappler. It's just, if he will wrestle more, I think he could. I think he could work a lot of guys on the ground. But here, the point we didn't really talk about is I don't think Crosbie has good cardio, right? I backed Kevin Jousset at pick him against him in his debut, and yeah, it was short notice, but the second the fight hit the mat, he didn't know what to do, and he got instant sub. Jousset is good, but he's not a guy like that. He's not doing that. So that was a bad look to me, short notice or not. He did gas a little bit in that fight, but instant sub when the fight hit the mat. So that's a bad look to me. And I don't necessarily think we need a takedown from Patterson, but I think the fight gets on the ground one time, maybe just he fall or just Patterson kind of clip him, because Crosby's gonna pressure. He's a little madman in there, and he can swing and stuff like that. So I think Patterson could time a takedown on it, and I think if he gets on top one time, I think that's the fight. So that's where I'm like, that's why I'm like, yeah, the line is wide, but at the same time, I think one takedown, just he gets on top one time. I think that's the fight personally. And then it's like, even if you clinch him, even if they clinch for us, I don't know, a minute or so, and then he could, like, he has the long arms, and he's taller. He could grab the neck and still put it in the front choke, and I think Crosbie would tap potentially. But then I'm saying all of this, and the sub is minus money on Bet Online, so it's not even playable. And normally Patterson was like around 2, 3 guys. He has very good cardio. I think he has a big cardio advantage here, a very big grappling advantage. It's like maybe you go sub 2, sub 3 if you want to play him. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I do think Crosbie is live in the first round. I don't think he's a bad underdog. There's clearly a big market overcorrection here. I mean, he was a pick him to just say Patterson was closely line against Lanus, I think, and he was a big favorite the fight before. So they go big favorite, closely line, and then big favorite again on him. And Giuseppe, they go, not Giuseppe, but Crosbie, they go pick him, and then massive underdog. But I don't think this guy's that good, to be honest. I don't really know why they signed him. He is fun, but like he's going to get exposed a couple times on the ground, and he can scrap for a round. But I don't think he has good cardio, and I think he has a very bad ground game. So yeah, I think Patterson sub 2 could be sneaky, but again, I don't even know what the odds are for that. Let me check. Patterson sub on Bet Online now is minus 135. You can't be playing that. That's awful. But then round 2 plus 270. No, that's not good. Let me say sub 2. Yeah, it's not even good, bro. Sub 2 is plus 400. It's garbage. But maybe you can get better odds on other books. So yeah, I think Patterson get the sub here.
Key, how about you? Got anything to say here?
Yeah, I think that Crosbie could either end up looking like the hero of the card, and us wondering why Patterson was ever this wide of a favorite against anybody in the UFC, or Patterson lands on top once and subs him. Like McPick says, he's not offensively wrestling consistent enough for me to like willingly eat chalk at this price. Like I can't. If this guy was shooting double A's consistently or getting to trips consistently, I would say cool, but he's opportunistically grappling at these times. And yeah, his BJJ is good, and it's going to be levels above Crosbie here. But Crosbie comes to scrap in the pocket. He's going to throw hard. And like McPick said earlier, I mean, that tall man's defense leaning back with your chin up, I mean, it's just insane. So I can't help but feel like Patterson is destined to face some sort of adversity if this gets past the first grappling exchange. He's going to face some sort of adversity. So for that reason, I'm not willing to eat minus 400. I can't blame anybody taking like plus 300 dog shots on Crosbie, but he's also a quitter himself. So this is just a low levels fight that I just don't want any part of.
Yes, sir. All right, next fight. Muhammad Mokaev versus Manel Kape. Mokaev is 23.57 with a 70-inch reach. Kape is 30.55 with a 68-inch reach. Looks a lot older. Kape anywhere from plus 114 to plus 130. Mokaev anywhere from minus 146 to minus 150. Key, can you be betting Mokaev at minus 150 here? Is he still the side?
I think it's relatively okay, if I'm being honest. I got plus 133 a while back. So guys in Discord got. I'm happy, very, very happy with that price personally. And all plus odds on Mokaev, in my opinion, is good. I mean, the guy is – I know that he gets a bad rep, and guys we don't like his fighting style, it seems like. But you can't deny it. Like, this kid is the goods. Like, I'm old enough to remember after the Dirt and Guillotine, guys were talking about he's the future champ. He's the best prospect in the sport. And he has a couple snooze fest, and then people just all of a sudden hate him. And while I understand it's not, like, appealing to the eye to watch, you can't deny, like, the skill and some of the entries that he's getting, the chain wrestling, the top pressure. He was on his way to losing, I believe, on the scorecards that Tim Elliott fight, actually.
Yes.
Even though I had it 1-1, he was on his way to losing that fight and then got the sub. The whenever he was against Fieldho, fighting through that knee bar, I mean, 95% of the roster taps. I mean, that's insane. And we saw the way that his knee was blown up. So this kid's an absolute animal and was willing to die in there to figure out a way to win. So at plus money, and I know that he's going to wrestle. I mean, it's no secret. I know that he's going to wrestle for the whole time. The lobby stuff, I mean, Mokaev is always a talker before the fights. I mean, if you remember, he was posting pictures of him with guns before his debut against Charles Johnson. I mean, the guy is just, I mean, he's a wild kid. And what can I expect out of a kid that's like 24, 23? I mean, he's early 20s. I can't expect him to be acting like a vet. So Kape is also a head case. So I don't, that sort of mental illness sort of evens out there. So this is a fight where I think that Mokaev is going to wrestle. Kape is going to throw hard, and I think that that's going to end up getting him into some sticky situations. So Mokaev is a side to me. I think that he looks good here. And if I'm being completely honest, if he finishes here, I think that he deserves a title shot. I mean, I know there's not like a fan favorite pick, but I personally think that he deserves a title shot if he gets the finish here.
People also kind of write off his strength of schedule too. I mean, you look at who Mokaev's fought, like he hasn't really had a like light fight or easy fight on his way up here. He's got what? Alex Perez, Tim Elliott, Fieldho, who's good, Malcolm Gordon. Okay, I can't count Malcolm Gordon. Charles Johnson wins, aging well. I mean, he's fighting good fighters. It's not like he was just like handed up the ladder. Cody Durden, like it wasn't like super easy for him. So he's getting there. I think he has the grappling advantage. Wouldn't be surprised. He does slow down later in fights, round 3-ish. That's when Kape could catch him here. I think Kape, this guy just said Kape round 1. I think Kape's more alive in round 3 than round 1, to be honest. But I think I have a Mokaev money line. I think I played him at plus 102. I think he's got good fight IQ, the better wrestling, better strength of schedule than Kape has in the UFC. So I don't know. I think he's the side here. Drav, what do you think?
Yeah, it's annoying when we all agree, right? I hope Mick Pick's gonna come. I know you're not gonna come out here with another argument. That's like the only fight we did talk about earlier in the week. But yeah, for this one, I think Mokaev's the side, and I'm kind of surprised with the line movement. I bet him at pick and price, and I thought he will be a little bit of a favorite, but I thought maybe there's still gonna be buyback. Yeah, that was my other point. Maybe there's still going to be buyback on Manel, but I'm kind of surprised with the line right now because I was like, people are not eye on Mokaev now because they hit him. That's the time to bet him at a pick him. So was my point to bet him. I don't think we're going to see a pick him soon with him. Maybe if he fight Pantoja, he's going to be a big underdog. He's not going to win, but you can't deny the fact that the guy's a winner to keep point. I mean, you still find ways to win, You're talking about his cardio peg not being very good. I mean, the guy can push to it, and he has like a lot of round 3 sub in his career. So if I can't really knock his cardio, and sometimes when you shoot 20 or 25 takedowns, whoever you are, you're going to be a little bit tired. That's just part of the game. And Alex Perez is a very good wrestler, and he has excellent takedown defense. That was a very hard matchup for him. And I bet Perez in that fight, but Perez was he was plus 2xx, that's different type of odds. And now I think Kape's a better striker than Perez, and I think he's more dangerous. But if you go back on the original, Kape has some trouble with the takedown defense in the get-up game. And even in the UFC, he tends to play off his back a little bit too much for my liking. The Dvorak fight, and which one was the other? Dvorak, and he spent some time on bottom with Nicola, right? So sometimes he's just willing to not lose the fight, but I mean, he should have won that Nicola fight if he did just a little bit more, but he was watching a little bit, he was feeling himself too much. The Oli Osborne fight, he was losing early until he finally kill a shot. It's not a good look. But now you can see the guys improving. But to me, the biggest thing here, and it's not really about matchup, but it's more about discipline. Who wants to win more? Mokaev's undefeated prospect. He's 23-0 as an amateur. He's 11-0 as a pro. The guy's a winner. Say what you want about him. He's a winner, and he finds a way to win. He never lost a fight in his entire pro amateur career. Mokaev, for how good he is, he has 6 losses. The guy can't lose. He's not unbeatable. And I think Mokaev is a bad matchup for him just because he's going to be shooting a lot of takedowns. And how many times do we see better striker look a little bit worse on the feet against a guy that's going to shoot a lot just because they're worried about the takedowns? I think that's possible here, that Mokaev is kind of piecing him up a little bit on the feet and then landing takedowns all over again. And we see Mokaev being a little bit hesitant about swinging big because when he does, he gets taken down. I'm not so sure. I don't think Mokaev is going to finish him. I think more often than not, he wins a decision here. But, the guy is known for his round 3 sub. And I know that's the last fight of his contract. And if he wants to make a statement, if he's the first, I don't think Mokaev has ever been finished. Let me just confirm. Oh, yeah, I think one time way back in the day. Yeah. Oh, no, he has been submitted 2 times in round 3, So maybe we go Mokaev round 3 sub. What's the odds for that? That's just a little bit wiki capping. I know Pantoja didn't submit him, and he got to his back one time. But to be fair, Pantoja was more willing to strike with him than grapple in that fight. Mokaev's going to shoot a lot of takedowns, and he's going to push a pace. So, yeah, I think Mokaev win, but I think he win like a 29-20 decision. Minus 150-ish kind of makes sense to me, but there's not big value at the current price. At minus 150, minus 160, I'm not sure I would still bet him. But I did play him. I did post him on Twitter at minus 138 as my free pick. And at minus 138, I think it was a good number to still play him. But yeah, I think minus 150 to minus 175 makes sense. But that's a fight I'm kind of excited about. It's it's in the first fights on the card now, and the fight has title implication. Do you guys think if Mokaev finish him, he gets a title shot? Like he said, he thinks so. I think that's possible, to be honest.
I think he should too, especially if he gets the finish, he deserves the title shot. If he doesn't get the finish, I think they put him up against who's up there at the top right now.
I would like to do Mokaev versus Tyra, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The prospect, the winner get a title shot.
This guy says Cape TKO.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Kape's the better striker, and he's going to be winning the minute on the feet and doing more damage. So that's a little bit, that's a little bit of a concern. But again, UK judges, normally they favor the damage over the control, right? But some fight, they don't. It's kind of weird. So maybe this fight, the crowd's going to go crazy when Mokaev will land a big takedown. Who knows, right? It's always hard to say. But yeah, Cape could get a knockout here.
I think they moved it down the card because Mokaev's fight style is boring and Manel can barely make weight half the time. So they were just getting ready for that fight to get yanked right off the card. I feel like
Dana hates Mokaev. I mean, the dude gets a lot of decisions, but he's got a lot of finishes too. His fights are always exciting. It's like, except the one with like Charles Johnson, where he took him down 30 times and held him down. But he finds a finish. But you guys covered everything pretty much. I don't want to repeat everything. But what I will say is, we know Mokaev is going to wrestle, right? We know this. The reason why I don't like Cape here is because Cape likes to play, even though he's a striker, when he gets taken down, he likes to play a little bit of the jiu-jitsu game.
Yeah.
Which I don't like here because Mokaev has proven he's impossible to submit. Like, this guy is not going to tap unless you either rip his entire leg off, which kind of happened before and he didn't tap, or he has to go unconscious. Like, Mokaev is the type of guy where, like, he's super young, so you got to assume that he's probably getting better with each fight. He's going to fight for your money if you bet on him. Like, he's not going to quit. Doesn't matter what happens, this guy's going to fight for your money. And I don't you always hear, like, Dean Thomas always chimes in, like, he's always saying, like, if you get taken down, develop your guard. He even said it in the David Dvorak fight when he was fighting against Cape, which I agree with, to get up. But I think that if Cape comes in and he's just like looking at like the floor as lava and just wants to get up and strike, he has his best shot doing that. But if he stays on his back and throws up submissions, which I think he's going to do because that's what he's done in the past, it's not going to be easy for him. I think that Mokaev's going to be able to take him down, not when he wants, but he's going to get him down. He's going to hold him down, and he's going to hold him down enough time to win the rounds. But I will say, if Mokaev wants to level up, he has to start landing damage. But I like Mokaev here.
Yes, sir. All right. So all four of us agree. You know what that means, guys. Minus 150. You could still bet him. Next fight, Oban Elliott versus Preston Parsons. Oban is 26, 6 feet tall, with a 72-inch reach. Preston Parsons is 29, 5'11", with a 71-inch reach. Drav, we'll have you go first. I mean, both these guys tend to try and wrestle, but they just wrestle differently. One guy is the American wrestler. The other guy is a European wrestler. Who do you think wins this one, Drav?
I like Carson here. I know there's a lot of love for Elliott this week, but I don't really see it, to be honest. I mean, he was getting his shit beat up on Dana White Contender Series. He showed that dog in him. Props to him, but I mean, I try to fade him with Brito on the Dana White Contender Series because he did quit like 1 or 2 times on the regional. I mean, he quit on the ground. He got broken and he quit and he gassed out. Now, maybe he's a different fighter, right? Maybe he did improve. He was young back then, but still, I've seen that. And Parsons, a guy that's going to pressure you. I think his nickname is Pressure or something. Mm-hmm. And I think he has been improving a lot in the striking department. He beat up Semmelsberger pretty bad, and he had very good moments on the field. I was he dominated him on the ground, but I was kind of impressed with how good he looked on the field in that fight. I was not really expecting that. And how do you line a fight, Semmelsberger versus Elliott? I don't know. I mean, Semmelsberger's kind of a head case, but I feel like you could knock him out for sure. And Parsons kind of make it look easy to me. I love the chain wrestling that he has. I love his ground game. And when we see matchup like that, I think there's 2 things that's going to happen. They're either going to just strike with each other. And if that's the case, I do favor Parsons a little bit. Or they're going to it's going to be who shoot the takedowns first. That's going to be winning the fight. And I do think Parsons is going to be shooting the one first. It's kind of hard to know, but yeah, I do think he's going to be the one shooting. And if they don't shoot at all, I kind of favor Parson a little bit again. So I think he has more of that dog in him. I think he has slightly the better cardio. I also believe he's going to be a little bit stronger. If I'm not mistaken, I think Elliott used to fight at lightweight back in the days. Not to say he's small, but I do think Parsons is going to be a little bit stronger. The guy's improving. That's a good fight, to be honest. I'm kind of excited for this one. The grappling exchange is going to be good. And they're kind of similar fighter, but I do think Parsons the better version of Elliott. So I like him here.
McPix, what about you? What are you thinking here?
Yeah, before I looked into this fight, I was thinking I was going to bet Parsons, but the more I looked into it, I'm a little more hesitant now because I feel that even though Oban, he's not like a anything crazy with striking, he does the fundamentals well. Like he has a good jab. He does everything well, and I love the camp that he comes out of. Team Shore, Jack Shore's dad's gym. They like seem to game plan really well for the fights. And I know the jab, for example, gave Preston Parsons a lot of issues when he was fighting Trevin Giles. He lost a split in that one. That was a close fight. But I don't know. Oban Elliott, he seems like he has something about him. Like he's kind of cocky. I don't really like the guy, to be honest. Like in his interviews and all that, he seems kind of like a dick. But I'm gonna pick Parsons to win because I do think he has the better wrestling. I'm not sure he's the better striker though. Parsons is probably better on the inside, like in close range. But I feel like Oban is good from the outside, like with his kicks, his body kick, and his jab.
You're right about that. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but Parsons is good at the inside. He throws a little more wild. Oban's a little bit bigger. What I would say, though, is this is an interesting fight maybe for violence to not go the distance. Even though their previous, 3 fights have gone to decision, they've all been like wars. Like the Semmelsberger fight was a lot of action for Preston Parsons. Giles, a lot of action. And then you look at Oban Elliott against Val Woodburn, like both those guys almost finish each other at some point. Against Brito in the Contender Series, like I can't believe that one went to a decision. So I'm going to pick Parsons because I do think he has a better cardio, and I don't think that Oban Elliott, like he's a good he's a good hammer. He's a bad nail. Like you could tell this dude loses confidence. Like if his game plan isn't going right, like if he can't get his takedowns or whatever he's doing is not working, you could tell he backs up, kind of loses confidence. And I'm going to say he's the less durable fighter of the two. So I'm going to pick Preston Parsons. I don't like how Preston is traveling across the Atlantic here, time difference, and they're also fighting at like a ridiculous time. I'm going to pick him to win though, but I think that the price is about right. Slight favorite.
So you're the totals titan is what we'll call you since you're so good at your totals. What do you think about this guy's question? He's asking for over 2.5 at minus 143. What do you think? I like it personally. I think this fight goes to the distance more times than not.
Yeah, I think it's a
Nick
tough one to
just
call.
said the opposite.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one to call. I'm just saying, like, it almost seems like a trap because if you look at their previous records, like you're like, oh, these guys, both of them have gone to a decision in their past 3 fights. But even Preston Parsons' fight against Evan Elder, like, I mean, I can't believe he didn't submit this guy.
Yo, he's a dog, huh? He's a dog.
He is, man. And then Oban Elliott, I didn't watch the James Sheehan fight, but I know his previous 2 fights, like. And Oban Elliott, like he should have finished Val Woodburn in the 2nd or 3rd round. That dude was gassed. But Val caught him early on. Like he was on wobbly legs again. Oban Elliott has been knocked out before late. And Brito almost knocked him out. And Brito had him in a tight armbar. I forget when it was, either 1st or 2nd round. Like there was like 5 seconds left. I think it was like maybe 10 seconds left, he would have tapped. I mean, that thing was tight. But
imagine betting Brito here. Imagine. I did.
So yeah, I'm gonna pick Parsons. But yeah, I think that this it's a tough one to call in terms of the total. I wouldn't be surprised if this one ended inside the distance. So
yeah, okay. Key, how about you? Anything, or are we moving on to the next one? I'm gonna have you start the next one for us.
Yeah, I'll keep this pretty quick. I think it's dog or pass. Like Midpick said, I like Elliott's game from the outside, but it's not like he's going to get 15 minutes of getting that type of fight. Parsons is going to crash the pocket at some point. He's going to try to wrestle. And in the terms of grappling, I think that it's not like – I don't think that Parsons is just going to completely wash him on the mat. And for me to get to a Parsons bet at favorite money, I sort of have to feel like Parsons is going to wash somebody on the mat or it's going to look really good. So this is a pass fight for me. But I think the Elliott narrative side is backing him. Like McPix talked about, the travel from Parsons is going to hurt him. And I really do like the Jack Shore camp. His dad runs a good camp. He has that bit where he always jokes about being hella overweight, like 12 hours before the fight on Twitter. So that's funny to see every fight week. But this is a dog or pass for me.
All right. So we're split 2-2. Well, no, he picked. So it's 3-on-1, I guess. But Nick Pixon seemed too confident in Parsons. Let's go next fight. Guys, obviously, like the video, comment, subscribe. We're happy to have you guys here. We like going live, especially when we got a guest like McPix. Likes are important to us. It gets our videos seen more and shows your support. And we give you guys picks for free and make you guys money. So that's all I bid on that. First fight of the prelims, because that was just the early prelims we just finished. So going into the prelims, we have Modestas. Modestas versus Marcin Prachnio. Bukauskas is 36'3" with a 78-inch reach. Prachnio is 36'6" with a 74-inch reach. Right now, odds in these gentlemen, you can get Modestas anywhere from minus 151 to minus 175. You can get Prachnio anywhere from plus 125 to plus 135. I think this fight's kind of wide, honestly. I think Prachnio should be a lot closer than the line justifies. What do you think?
Yeah, I am a Devin Clark survivor. I will come on here and say that, sadly. This is just like that one. Yeah, Prachnio winning fights in the UFC is just like a sight to see every time. The guy's body language is absolute garbage every fight. His hands are flailing. He's
a
not
cardio machine, right?
What'd you say?
He's a cardio machine, right?
Oh, fuck out of here. I think that Modestas, I mean, the guy's just going to get into a staring contest. Like he has, it's weird because like physically, I mean, he's built like a solid 205er. Like he looks like he has the tools. Looks like he should fight better than he does, honestly. And I mean, he does the fundamentals well. Good jab, decent low kick. And he's not going to make a ton of mistakes. It's just he's not going to separate. And in a fight versus Prachnio, where he just weirdly finds ways to figure out ways to win, it's hard for me to sit here and say that I'm going to confidently back Modestas at what is it now, like minus 160, minus 170,
minus 150. Does no one listen to me when I do the breakdowns at the beginning? And I give you guys the odds. It's every podcast for you guys.
But
minus 150.
Minus 151 on Bet Online right now. I'll pass on that. I think that I think this is probably gonna be a close fight more times than not. Modestas did put on Twitter that he was coming for war. So let's see how long that shit lasts. But yeah, it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I think let's see. Bukauskas, I think he is too low volume here. I think Prachnio actually looked good in his last fight against Clark, even though it doesn't say much. I had a bet on Clark, which is unfortunate. But overall, I think Prachnio will throw more of the volume early on. I think it's just an ugly fight. I would stay away from it, but it's definitely dog or pass for me. Drav, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, not much to add. I had some interest in Prachnio by decision. I think that's how he wins more often than not. And the line on Bet River is like plus 300 or so for him by decision. I don't see him finishing, and I think he's going to lose round 3 at a pretty high clip. So that's kind of why I'm worried. I think Bukauskas has the better cardio, little bit more finishing upside, and the body language. I think that's key mention. Prachnio is just so bad after like, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes. He's good at winning minutes. He has a little bit more volume than Bukauskas. And then, I mean, Modestas was in a very close fight with Zach Paga. I bet Zach Paga by decision there. It was like plus 300. And you can make an argument that Paga won it. And Paga is like cut from the UFC now, I think. Or maybe soon to get cut. But again, it's not a good look. He's kind of fighting close with everybody. Even on the original, he was the same. But I really do believe he win round 2 at a very high clip, or he's live to finish in round 3. So just based on that, it's like, am I confident that Preston's going to win the first 2? Not really. I'm very confident to say it's going to be close, which is why I think there's value on the decision prop for Prachnio plus 300. But yeah, more often than not, I feel like because probably he's going to hedge a very close split decision. So based on that, the dogs decide if you want to bet it. But yeah, Bukauskas light prop can be interesting as well. But yeah, it's not really a fight I want to bet. I'm going to be boring, but I'm going to pick Bukauskas to win. And I think it's dog or pass. I think Marcin's the money line side. If you were to bet it, I don't think it's justified to lay chalk on a guy that is kind of watching his opponent, not showing anything and staring and losing minutes. Prachnio is going to lend more, do a little bit more. So decision prop plus 300 if you want to bet it. I think it's on Bet River. So that's kind of what I think.
I actually like this too if the odds come out okay. The plus Prachnio plus 3.5. I think it goes to decision on both sides, and Prachnio probably wins round 1 at a pretty high clip with the volume that he throws.
Yeah, on Bet Online it's minus 180. So maybe you get minus 150, but I don't like it enough to be honest. You could get finished in round 3. That's kind of my thing here.
Yeah, I agree. McPix, what do you got?
I hate this fight.
Sounds good.
All right, next. No. Yeah, like Drav said, so Prachnio lands more volume, and this fight is favored to go to a decision. But what I don't like about Prachnio, like he won his fight against Devin Clark. He looked good. I don't know what Devin Clark was doing in that fight, but he gassed completely. End of second, started and throughout the third round. Prachnio, that is, and what he does is he looks. He's so like his technique goes out the window. Like he's like lunging forward and like winging his punches. I think Bukauskas, he doesn't throw as much, but he stays more technical. He's a good counter striker. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he knocked out Prachnio at some point. You know, these guys have been to a decision. They've been more decision fighters recently, but Prachnio's start of his UFC career was a fucking mess. I mean, if you haven't seen his fight against Sam Alvey, it's the most hysterical knockout you'll ever see. And then he fought Magomed Ankalaev. You can forget him for getting knocked out in the first round. And then he fought Mike. He's lucky to get cut. I mean, this guy's had a weird career. I mean, he got knocked out 3 fights in a row, and his the third fight was against Mike Rodriguez, which I remember that fight. It was an elbow in the clinch, like the middle of the octagon. And then Prachnio comes back and he beats Khalil Roundtree to a decision. So, but back to this fight. I think that Modestas just has the better cardio. If this fight's 1-1 going to the third round, I think he's going to land the harder shots. He's more technical. He stays composed. And I think the judges just like Bukauskas. I thought Bukauskas lost his fight against Zach Pauga, but he won it unanimously, apparently. So I'll pick him to win. I wouldn't be surprised if he one of his counter shots gets to Prachnio and puts him out. Maybe like a round 3 decision prop, but I'm picking Bukauskas.
Nice. Next fight, Caolan Loughran versus Jake Hadley. Caolan Loughran is 28.56 with a 68.5-inch reach. Jake Hadley is 27.57 with a 70-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, Loughran's anywhere from minus 190 to minus 225. Hadley's anywhere from plus 170 to plus 160. McPicks, you're going first. Is Loughran going to be too big for Hadley, take him down and, out-grapple him for 15 minutes? Or do we think, Hadley finds his space, gets his striking going, and kind of puts on makes his fight interesting? So I think both guys can fight or box with each other pretty well. I think the grappling upside favors Loughran. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the wrestling upside favors Loughran. These guys are actually similar in size. They're like the same size, but Loughran's going to be a lot thicker. Mm-hmm. Hadley's actually a big flyweight. He cuts a lot of weight to make 125. He's taking this fight on short notice, so it's at 135. So he's technically moving up in weight. But I like Loughran. I mean, the dude is like a little bull. He's confident, and he's never been finished, amateur or professional career. I'm going to favor the wrestling upside of Loughran over the jiu-jitsu of Hadley, and I think Hadley's tough though as well. So I think that Loughran. Maybe it's competitive on the feet, but I like his wrestling, and I think that he's going to be able to get Hadley down and win minutes and win a decision here.
All right. Drav, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more critical about Hadley. The way he accept bottom position, that's not how you win minutes or how you win fights, not at this level. How likely do you guys think it is for him to sub Loughran off his back?
Not happening.
So it's not very likely, right? So. That's one of his path to victory here, because Loughran's gonna shoot. We know that, right? He's shooting in all of his fight. Lapidus fight, he was not very successful, but I mean, Basharat needed to shoot 20 takedowns and go all in to have success in the grappling against Lapidus. Lapidus takedown defense and get up and footwork is very tricky. On the other end, Hadley he's a big flyweight. Maybe it's even better for him fighting at bantamweight because the weight cut is brutal. The fight against Durden, he almost died or something. So that's a massive weight cut for him, and he does slow down in round 3. It does happen for him. Loughran there's not like a big size difference between the two, but he's gonna be stronger than Hadley. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the one shooting the takedowns, and he's going to be the one looking to win minutes on top. And I think he's going to cruise, to be honest. Hadley, every time he loses, even like on the regional, he's getting taken down. He's playing up jiu-jitsu off his back. At the lowest level, you're going to get a sub or two because he's crafty off his back. But at the UFC level, it's very hard to get some of the of these submission. On the feet, it's close. I do think Hadley's slightly the better striker, but Loughran is very durable himself, and he can crack, and he's going to pressure Hadley. So that's basically it. I think it's kind of a close fight on the feet, but
also short notice for Hadley.
It's also obviously short notice up a weight class for Jake Hadley, which with the cardio concern in round 3 already, it doesn't help. I play Loughran here, but I got a better number. What it is now, I got minus 130, but I think now it's juice a little bit. What, minus 200 or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone listen to what I say before it starts?
To be honest, at minus
Dude, you
200,
gotta mention the odds before you pass on these fights. Come on.
I know, right?
yeah, but at minus 200, I personally would still parlay him minus 200. I think he's a fine parlay piece here. I think there's a little bit value still. I think he win the fight 7 out of 10 times, so minus 230. It's not like so not a lot of value on the current price, but I think he's still fine for a parlay piece here. To be honest, I feel like he win the decision. The resting upside is massive.
Hadley
Yeah.
he does live. It's a local fight for him, so it's not like he's traveling. Just to play the other side a little bit. But
Yeah.
a little aside, did you guys see our boy Felipe Lima's matched up with Taylor?
That's a
It's not
crazy
official.
fight, bro.
I
That is,
saw
That
it.
is a banger.
Yeah, that's a
how do
big.
you
all
guys
catch
line
on.
that fight? How do you guys
I was
line
on this podcast for that card, and we all picked him as an underdog.
it? Mhm.
Yeah,
How do you
so-
line this one for Lapolis? I think you make
I don't
Lima
know.
the favorite, honestly.
I really think that it's in Paris. I think so. I don't know. I think it's going to be open up like a pick 'em, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be close for sure.
yeah, I do think that's gonna be close, but I feel like in Paris maybe Lapidus close like minus 125, minus 150 or something. He's very good, man. Lapidus is very good. It's gonna be a banger of a fight. I'm not sure who's gonna win it, to be honest.
Super good fight.
I think the over is a good play there. Right off the top of my head, but it's probably gonna be juiced. Key, what about you? Finish us off for pause. You finished the breakdown for Loughran, Hadley, and then we'll have you start with McCann, Bruna.
Yeah.
The woman MMA GOAT next, Key.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is your Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that this is a spot for Loughran. As my guy Marlo says, buy low, sell high. So I bought low on Loughran at about like minus 130 all the way up to minus 185. That's what guys in Discord got. This line opened, I think, at like minus 260 or something. And people just steamed the dog shit out of Hadley. So I was able to buy low on Loughran gladly. I think the guy is just absolute tank. I mean, to take a round off of Lapidus is big time shit. We see how elite Lapidus takedown defense and striking from ranges. And Loughran got in his face, made it ugly, took a round off of him, something that Stamen wasn't able to do. And Stamen is supposed to be this elite wrestler in the bantamweight division. Hadley spends time off of his back, as Drav mentioned earlier. I think the minus 200 is about right. I would line it even closer to minus like 225, minus 250 range, honestly. I think the Loughran wins this fight 7 out of 10 times or more. And so I'm very comfortable with the price that I got. He's the minute winner. Him taking another short notice fight lets me know that he's definitely had a good camp so far and is most likely healthy. So I don't have to worry about injuries probably. So Hadley taking this on short notice, doing a favor for the UFC after having some tough weight cuts. I think the Loughran gets it done here.
Yeah, I think Loughran too. MMA Line Mover thinks that Hadley is the side and that he's the best grappler.
And Loughran's head is fucking huge. Like he's not getting chinned here. I do think that Hadley has some decent boxing, but he's not getting chinned here, so I'm not worried about it from a durability standpoint either. And so this is Loughran through and through for me.
So I just dropped.
I do think he's right with the grappling offense, but again, it's going to be playing off his back. I'll be very surprised if Hadley's on top. Do you guys agree?
Hadley's not going to be on top at all. I don't think he has any top time. I think he's going to be on the bottom.
Loughran is there to be hit, but like we pretty much all said, he's going to be shooting a lot of takedowns here, and he has a break for a head. So I'll be very shocked if Hadley find a finish here.
So I just dropped a Twitter link in the comments thinking that it would pop up. We were talking about Mokaev talking shit. This is a post from him not too long ago.
Yeah, I just saw.
On his story of Cape being scared, and it says help. So I don't know, but
he's trying to promote the fight.
Mokaev shot a takedown in a hotel lobby scrap, so that's kind of fucking crazy. That's besides the point. So we know how Saturday night's gonna go. Next fight, Molly McCann versus Bruna Brasil. Molly McCann, 34, 5'4", 62-inch reach. Bruna Brasil, 35'6" with a 65-inch reach. Do I even bother giving you guys the odds or what? I will.
There's
anyway.
no odds needed. Molly McCann to the fucking belt. Manon, Grasso. Actually, fuck that. We're done with flyweight. We're the strawweight. Whaley, Jandaroba, fucking Hyde, please. I think that this is Molly McCann's spot through and through. I parlayed the dog shit out of her versus Belvita. I said on this podcast that she was good till -500 and she looked -1,000. So value again. I parlayed her at like -275. That was easy money. Arm bar for the cocksuckers that thought that she couldn't grapple. I believe that this is what is Bruna Brasil going to do? I mean, she's going to tuck her chin, look angry, and stare at her and bounce for like 15 minutes. I think that this is an easy Molly McCann spot. Molly's going to get in the pocket. She's going to crash the pocket. She's going to get into her. Her boxing is actually legit. I know that Molly's a meme and shit, and people don't like her because the UFC tried to push her at one time. But Molly's boxing is actually like pretty damn decent. Bruna is allergic to getting hit. She is probably the worst fighting nerds fighter there is. So I don't want to hear anything about that camp. I know that camp is hot right now, but Bruna Brasil is not. She's not one of those. Not at that level at all. Bruna is allergic to getting hit. She will play off of her back. Dropping around to Shauna Bannon whenever you have insane physical advantages is absolutely insane and puzzling to me. So I think that there's an obvious Molly setup spot. I think that they're looking to get Molly a top 15 to top 20 shot after this. And I think that this is Molly's correct weight class in all seriousness. Like I really do. She was a smaller girl at flyweight. I think that this is her correct weight class. I think that she's going to get on the inside. She can wrestle if she wants to. And I think that some of her late finish props are also look pretty decent, especially on FanDuel right now. So this is I'm not saying that it's going to look exactly like the Denise Gomes fight, but Molly is definitely gonna cook her, and this is an obvious setup spot. I have her parlayed at I think like -250, and like -290 and some shit like that, and some also some finish props. So this is an easy Molly spot. My queen, she's gonna get it done. Molly for the belt. Whaley, please hide.
So, do you recommend for my parlay with Mick Parkin? Are you recommending Meatball Molly again? So I'm gonna have another moneyline Molly bet.
I recommend putting your house payment on Molly.
Okay, and what about Molly? Because it looks like the best line for Mick Parkin is FanDuel at -265. Are you really gonna make me parlay Molly McCann at -350?
That's on you. You're parlaying Mick Parkin, so it can't get any nastier than Mick Parkin at -265. So.
Lock of the card. Remember who said it first? Lock of the card, Mick Parkin. It's gonna make it look easy.
Yeah, you're gonna put him in the BTL parlay, and then we're gonna lose again.
I might just do that because you said that. So
yeah, we know how
it's gonna happen now.
We know how it works.
What about you guys? You guys got anything different for? I agree with Key. I think Molly McCann is the clear side
it's
here.
It's kind of hard to disagree with Key about this take. You know, that's his girl. If one of us were to bet against his girl here, he would be mad.
What about Mick picks? What do you like? You like Bruna, right?
I don't think Brazil's good. I don't. Shout out to Denise Gomez for catching me this underdog ticket against her. She was a big dog.
Okay,
the question is,
now we're cooking.
The question is not if she's gonna win here. To me, is more how she's gonna win. If you want to play some props, I think round 2-3 is probably the way to go. If you want to bet is her prop. I think Bruna Brasil can survive a round. That's in the big cage also. But I do think the pressure of Molly is going to get to her. And Bruna Brasil, she doesn't love getting hit, you know, not too hard on the chin. She doesn't like that. And Molly hits hard. She's going to pressure. She's going to go for the kill for the fan, I feel like. And she can wrestle. I'm really struggling to see a path for Bruna Brasil. What it is she going to finish Molly? No. So her best scenario to win the fight is a 29-28 decision in London. Not London, England. Like, it's very, and I give like all the finishing upside to Molly. So it's very hard for me to to get to Bruna Brazil by any mean. But yeah, I do think Molly find a finish at some point. So the round 2-3 on Bet Online are very bad for this fight. So maybe they know what's up. We'll see what they give me on other books, and we'll figure it out.
Everyone's liking Molly inside the distance here. Molly inside the distance. 3.5 is minus 360 for minus 3.5. So I don't know about. I mean, probably.
It's impossible for minus 3.5. It can be minus 360.
Minus 160. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good.
Molly has gone over in 1 out of 5 for the last 5 fights. Good to know. So maybe the under 2.5. What do we think, totals, guy? What do you got for that?
I do think it goes over 1.5.
I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking. You're not the totals guy. Totals guy is over here.
Oh,
I was talking to him.
I didn't hear what you were saying. I only said, what do you think about the total?
Yeah, so I didn't look into this fight. This is the one fight I didn't look into, but you guys are so adamant about Molly, and Key had so much conviction on this bet on this fight. So Molly for the belt. That's what we'll go with.
All right. What do you think about the total? You think the under or the over? 2.5.
I would lean under just because, just based on her previous fights, especially her fight against Belbita. I mean, she came out like a bat out of hell, and they were just going at it. And we know Brazil is not the most durable fighter in the world. Tall women's defense, so I would go under if anything.
All right. Next fight, Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda. Nathaniel Wood is 30.56 with a 69-inch reach. Daniel Pineda, 38.57 with a 69-inch reach. Odds on these two guys, I think Nathaniel Wood is the biggest favorite on the card, being anywhere from minus 410 to minus 500. Pineda anywhere from plus 350 to plus 300. Nick Picks, we're going to have you go first. What do you think here? You think you're going to play Wood at minus? Can you trust Nathaniel Wood at minus 400 here or what?
No, I don't. So I actually really like Nathaniel Wood. The dude has a lot of talent, but in this spot, I did not trust him at this price. I posted on Twitter earlier. I wasn't like choosing a side or anything like that, but I did post like I think Daniel Pineda is a lot tougher than people give him credit for.
Hell
if you
yeah.
look at his record. Let me pull up his Sure Dog here. He's been finished a number of times, right? You see, he's been submitted 6 times, but he hasn't been submitted since 2010. So, I mean, that was 14 years ago. So 6 times on 2010 and earlier than that. So he's a different fighter now. And he's been knocked out 3 times, but one was from Cub Swanson, who I think hits harder than Nathaniel Wood, who's moving up in weight or is really a 135er. And then before that, it was a doctor stoppage in 2017. So I'm not saying that the guy can't get hurt, because he can. I'm just saying he's tough. He's tough to get out of there, and he's bigger than Nathaniel Wood. He's going to be stronger. Daniel Pineda has 28 wins, 100% finish rate, which is fucking insane to think about. 9 wins by knockout, 19 wins by submission. He's dangerous, man. And Nathaniel Wood is not the most durable fighter in the world. He hasn't been finished recently, but he's definitely been hurt in his last 2 fights. I mean, Naimov knocked him down and stumbled him a couple times. He got knocked down and hurt by Andre Fili, and he had a really close fight with Andre Fili. I mean, it came down to the 3rd round, and he just kind of outstruck Fili towards the end, but it was close. And I don't know, Daniel Pineda, he's no joke. He is 38. I could see why he's the underdog. He's 38 years old. He's definitely not the most durable fighter. He's tough, but he does get hurt a lot. But I think this line is wide. I don't have a bet on this fight, but I would not be parlaying Nathaniel Wood. If anything, I would take Pineda on the money line or inside the distance prop. Yeah, that's how I would go with this one. I would not be parlaying Nathaniel Wood. I don't know what the line is. It's probably juice, but Nathaniel Wood, like decision only, is probably a good look, or a parlay piece. If it does go to a decision, you got to favor Nathaniel Wood. I mean, Daniel Pineda is 0-6 in decisions. Nathaniel Wood has really good cardio. He's a better cardio here. But yeah, in terms of in terms of a pick, I'm gonna go Daniel Pineda for the major upset.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I actually played Daniel Pineda round 1 plus 1100. I think a majority of his upside does come in round 1, whether it's by KO or he catches Wood in the guillotine trying to wrestle. And I'm going to stick with that. I agree. I think Pineda plus 400's fine. Why not take the shot? You're betting on a dog. He's not a quitter, and he's going to be huge. People, the physicality aspect and like the size of the two gentlemen, Pineda's going to be a lot bigger than Nathaniel Wood. I think Nathaniel Wood is pretty small for 145, to be honest, and I think Pineda's pretty damn big for 145. So
yeah, I mean, Wood reminds me of like Christian Rodriguez. Like he's moving up in weight to 145, but like you could tell that dude is a 135er. You know, just look at his last fight against Arosa, was just too big for him. Yeah. And Nathaniel Wood, if you watch him in his fights, like even like against Feely, like they were in like a 50-50 position on the ground, and Feely just kind of rolled them, you know, and it's just it's not saying like it was technique. Technique is part of it, but it was really just strength. He was just bigger than Nathaniel Wood. I mean, it comes down when you're grappling, if you're bigger than your opponent, you have an advantage. So just a couple points.
I think Pineda too. Round 1 plus 1,100 is going to feed families. Jav, what do you got for this one?
Based on just cardio, age, narrative being in the UK, I kind of feel like Wood's going to finish him down the stretch here. Pineda is tough, to his credit. He kind of pushed through it when he gets hurt, but the guy has about 6 or 7 minutes of cardio. He fall off a cliff after that. It was kind of crazy how much Caceres hurt him. It was more to the body though, but he still hurt him pretty badly, like 2 times, and he almost finished him. And one time it looked like Pineda was done, and Caceres kind of stare at him. That was kind of crazy. I really feel like Caceres should have finished that fight, to be honest. And Caceres is good, but he's not known for finishing people or just hurting people in general. The fact that he was hurting him so much is kind of tricky here. And Wood is not like a big power puncher, but he can drop people and he goes to the body. So I'm pretty sure the game plan will be to go to the body early and find a finish down the stretch. Also, to just talk about the narrative aspect a little bit more. I heard in interviews and someone told me that Wood kind of need money, and he's kind of looking for a finish because he won the bonus and everything. Pineda, he doesn't have a bad chin, but he does get hurt in some fights, you know. Wood chin is not good either, to be honest. Getting cracked and drop a lot. So I really think Pineda could finish him in round 1. But Wood, to his credit, he does have very good recovery, you know. So Pineda also has good recovery, but the cardio difference, the age difference, the fight being in the UK, the fan going crazy when Wood put it on him. Wood has very crisp boxing. You know, he has good skills, good grappling offensively. So I feel like if Pineda is tired and he gets on top in round 3, he could potentially submit him, and he could just finish him with body shot and boxing, just based on Pineda being tired and Wood putting the pressure on him, upping the volume on him. I kind of feel like it's going to be in the part of the game plan. The cardio difference is just too big for me here to ignore. But again, I'm kind of waiting on other books because round 2, 3 is very bad on BetOnline now for Wood. It's kind of like they know. As far as the money line goes, again, the money line side is Pineda. I think he has some upside to finish in the first round or to win the first round. And then I still think that he could win the fight based on being too big, too strong, and get a takedown and then riding the back or something in round 2, for example, and survive round 3. Because I thought the Naimov fight was a bad look. Naimov looked a little bit too physical for him, and he was out grappling Wood at some point in this fight. But to be fair, a lot of cheating in that fight by Naimov, and Wood got a lot of nut shot. Naimov was grabbing the fence, all of that, but still, I think that was a bad look for Wood here. And obviously, he should be at bantamweight. We all talk about it, but I mean, the guy said that he was killing himself to make the weight, and it was not LT. So I'll say, what could we say? It really looked like he's not going back down to 135. So I'm gonna stop giving him shit for being at 145 and just use your cardio as a weapon now. Up the pressure, the volume, and finish these guys late. You know, so.
Pineda plus 3.5 is plus 180. So if you think he's gonna win one round, and then
it got smashed, Peg. It was like plus 250 or plus 300 yesterday or something. Yeah, I don't like it at the current price, to be honest. It's decent, but if you think you can win a round, it's going to be close. And they give you what? Plus what? You said?
I think he is plus, I don't even pay attention to myself, plus 330 to plus 350.
No, the plus 2.5 on Pineda.
Oh, it's plus 180 for.
Yeah, see, you got almost two times the price if you go on the money line directly. I think you could win the fight, so if you were to bet a money line, I don't advise putting Wood at minus 400 in a parlay for sure because of the chin concern, because of the weight class difference, and because of how dangerous Pineda is. He has 100% finish rate, but I do think Wood get a finish down the stretch as my pick. And that's kind of around 2-3 for Wood. That's kind of what I like.
All right. Key, you got anything different here, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with y'all for a lot of this. Wood at minus 410 versus anybody that is going to cause any sort of finishing, that has any sort of finishing upside, just isn't a good bet in my opinion. Pineda comes to bang that first round. I wonder what the finish props would look like if the Pineda fight ends, if the Pineda Philly fight ends with how it probably should have been, which is a round 2, round 3 Philly finish, that's probably what he was on his way to. Pineda's hands on his knees during the fight, hands on his head. I mean, just terrible body language. Wood ups the pace and ups the pressure. If he doesn't finish here, I'm not sure what's going on here because I think that he has the tools to finish. I think that the speed advantage in round 2 and round 3 is going to look absolutely disgusting. So Pineda round 1, I can't blame anybody. Plus 1,100, that's a pretty insane price in my opinion. Saying that's I think his only path to victory here. But Wood is always liable to get bonked, it feels like, at any moment. So I think the Wood round 2, round 3 props on some commercial books could look good. But outside of that, I think Pineda round 1, Wood round 2, round 3 is the only way to really look at this. Wood decision, if he takes him to the decision, he's not justifying minus 410. So I'm looking at how is he going to justify this price tag, and that's a round 2, round 3 finish. So I lean that way.
Okay. Next fight we have is Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Arnold Allen, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Giga is 35, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, Allen anywhere from minus 225 to minus 275. Giga anywhere from plus 210 to plus 180. Drav, go first. I mean, Arnold Allen's going to wrestle bang everything out. Actually, no, Drav just left. Allen's going to wrestle bang everything out of Giga, right? What do you think, McPix? I'll have you go first.
Yeah, I think Arnold Allen's the rightful favorite. The dude's a stud. I mean, he's only lost to, in the UFC, the best of the best, Movsar Evloev and Max Holloway, and both those fights were fairly competitive. Dude's durable. He's younger. He has the grappling upside here. Giga, solid kickboxer, but Arnold Allen's the better mixed martial artist. Arnold Allen's also super durable. I don't think he's ever been finished. He hasn't. He's lost by decision 3 times. And he's fighting in his home country of England, so the crowd's going to be behind him. He probably decisions Giga. But, yeah, I think he wins this fight. That's it.
Okay. Drav, what about you? What do you think for Allen Giga?
I'm gonna give you guys a little secret. I think Allen round 2 and round 3 subs gonna feed family this week. You heard it here. You hit it first. I bet
him by sub against his previous fight against Ivloev.
That was my next point, bro.
Yeah,
make this. The
like
ninja choke,
or something, 1,100,
the ninja
1,200.
choke was deep in round 3, and Evloev sub defense is elite. Giga is gonna tire out as the fight goes on. He's gonna try to clinch or something, and Allen doesn't necessarily need to grapple again. I think he could get a sub based on the clinch with a front choke. His front chokes are insanely good. I know he has not got a sub in a long time, but let's just face a little. Let's just check his opponents, okay? Evloev. I bet Evloev there, but it was a wrestler, and he did try the sub there, and he almost had it in round 3. But that was a bad matchup for him, and Evloev is very good. Before that, Max Holloway. Um, he looked decent in that fight, but just got outclassed, out veteran. Max Holloway was just too much for him. But then you look the Kevin Kattar fight, right? Again, in the first round, Kattar injured his knee, and first of all, Allen was too fast for him. His speed is kind of underrated a little bit, in my opinion. He has sneaky power. I know he's a decisioner in the UFC, but he does have sneaky power. He's fast, and he put pressure on people sometimes when he wants to, which is my next point. To beat Giga, you kind of have to pressure him or to grapple him. But here, I do think that Allen's going to pressure Giga early, and as the fight goes on, Giga is going to be a little bit tired, like he was in his last couple fights. I mean, even in the Kattar fight, he showed that dog in him. But to make Kattar look that good on the ground is a terrible look. And I do think here, Allen could grapple, just take him down and get on top, and then get a sub that way. But I also believe that he could potentially hurt Giga and then get a front choke, or just get a front choke when Giga is tired in the clinch. I do think if any moment in the fight at the end of round 2 or in round 3, he get a guillotine locked in or a ninja choke, the fight is over. I'm super confident in that. Giga, look at the last grappler he fought. It's been a long time. Caceres has some grappling, but the fight was more of a striking match. Kattar had a ton of success in the wrestling, and he's just striker. Barboza, striker. Cub Swanson, more of a striker, right? Jamie Simmons, I don't even know the guy. Omar Morales. Who else? Rivera, I don't know the guy. Jamal Emmer, the fight was close. When Emmers decided to wrestle, the fight was very close. And so, yeah, and you go back in the days in 2018 on Dana White Contender Series, he got sub in round 3 against Austin Springer. It was a long time ago, but now I do think that I think Giga is a good striker. Obviously, he has the Giga kicks. He's talented, but he's almost 6 years young, 6 years older. He's fighting in Arnold Allen backyard, and Allen's on a 2-fight losing streak now. He needs a big moment, right? And I do think he's going to get a sub in his own country, getting back on track. And yeah, so if you guys want to make some money, it's plus 2,000 and plus 3,000 on FanDuel. I think so. Yeah, man. Make it rain.
Not a bad
All right. Key, what do you got?
Yeah, I think I parlayed Allen at like minus like 250, I believe. I'm not happy.
Who'd you parlay him with?
You know who the fuck I parlayed him with.
And what did we call that parlay?
Oh, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
I think it was Smoke That Key Pack is what I called it.
Yeah. Whatever. And my opinion still feels the same somewhat. I do think that it's hard for Arnold Allen to like consistently cover that price tag, but I feel like he wins this fight so consistently that I just had to eat the chalk, and I needed a parlay piece for my queen and my goat, Meatball Molly. So I'll gladly hit the chalk here. I think that Arnold gets it done and gets back to regular form. I think that guys actually is still going to continue to be a real contender. He has all the goods. I think he just has to put it together. I think he's had some tough matchups recently. So I did play Mobsar last time out against Allen. But I'm glad to switch sides here. So I think that Allen gets it done.
He's also 6 years younger, and you got the 35-year-old curse going for Giga right now. So another thing to add.
Dix Insider seems to love Benny and seems to just love this spot for Giga here.
Yeah, but to just point out a little bit about the kicks, if Adams pressure him with the boxing or shoot takedowns, the kicks are not going to be there. When Kattar was pressuring him after a round, the kicks were not there. He landed a few, but the pressure, the boxing, the grappling, it's going to cancel the kicks when you're getting pressure like that. And Allen sometimes can be low volume. He can fight close, but I do think that's his fight to lose here. I do think he get a sub. That's my prediction for the fight, and you can get his sub prop at like +7 or plus 800, but I don't think it's in the first round. Giga is pretty tough, and I do think it's gonna be at the end of round 2 or in round 3. Allen has 2 submission in the third round in the UFC also. It's been a long time, but he does have 2. My bad.
Okay. Next fight, we have Christian Leroy Duncan versus Gregory Rodriguez. Christian Leroy Duncan is 29'6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Hobocop is 32'6'3" with a 75-inch reach. Right now, odds on these two gentlemen, Robocop's anywhere from plus 125 to plus 110. Leroy Duncan's anywhere from minus 140 to minus 150. Key, our boy CLD is going to find the finish here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been high on CLD since he was still in Cage Warriors. I think, I'm a little biased because he has a basketball background too. So I'm biased there as a former player myself, but you don't see this type of athlete in MMA at these weight classes this often. This fluidity, this creativity, the way that he finds angles, you just don't see it. I don't think that this is as cut and dry as just a striker and grappler matchup, because I don't think that Rodriguez is just this like power wrestler that people are making him out to be this week. He is a rolling downhill type of fighter, but in my opinion, you're walking into something. You're gonna walk into something with CLD. He's setting traps everywhere, and like I said, the way that this guy finds angles is just something special. I can't put my tongue on it. Exactly. Pause. That's crazy. That was insane. That was insane. That was insane. But I think that CLD is definitely, he's the goods, man. I'll be honest. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think that he's going to find the KO here. I don't know when it comes. I think the video is way overblown. This guy has shown explosiveness through all rounds of every fight that he's been in. And I know that, everybody is slowing down past the first round. So to think that he's going to have the same flying knee power, the same spinning elbow speed as the first round is insane, in my opinion. But he is not this gasser. And what we've seen is him starting to invest in his own grappling. And I'm not expecting him to grapple offensively here. I think he'd be an idiot if he did, actually. But it's letting me know that he's doing a lot of work in camp, because honestly, he made Tallulah and Ribeiro look like sparring matches and with the way that he dealt with them. I mean, he tried to wrestle Tallulah for a whole round and then said, okay, fuck it. That didn't work. Second round, I'm going to just go ahead and do what I do best. And he absolutely cleaned him up. Same thing with Ribeiro, and then ended up finishing Ribeiro on the ground after a double leg. So this guy's definitely putting in the work. I know that he's been a Team Renegade over with Leon a good bit. You know that they've been doing a lot of good anti-grappling work. I think the CLD gets it done here. I was able to play plus 105, sat on the board for like mad long, for like 2 hours or something. And this was a couple days after the opener, I believe. And so me and my guys were able to play that all the way until minus 135. That's what we got in the Dub Club and Discord. I'm very happy with that price. I wish I would have went harder, but I was putting a little bit too much stock into Rodriguez's grappling upside, and he does have grappling upside. But this isn't a case of one takedown and the fight is over, like some people are making this out to be. I think the CLD cleans him up and makes him look stupid.
All right. McPicks, total's king. 80% of CLD, make it make sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't even hit a total here because I think CLD is super durable. I mean, a lot of people don't bring this up, but Leroy Duncan, he's 10-1, but he's got like 30 amateur fights too. And he's never been finished. He has a few decision losses. I haven't watched them back. I'm assuming he got grappled. You know, he's learning MMA type of thing, but he is a freak athlete. Say it again.
Yeah, he did. He was getting a little bit wrestle back in the amateur when he lost the decisions.
Right, but he's getting better. He's a freak athlete, ridiculously long reach. The thing is, like he said, like people bring up the grappling advantage for Rodriguez, but he doesn't use it that much. Like he even mentioned, like Rodriguez likes to stand and bang. He puts on fantastic fights, but it's not a good style for him because Rodriguez, like his durability is what gets him caught. Like the dude's been hurt or knocked out a number of times, and Leroy Duncan can crack. So I think it's a spot where instead of, investing in the total, and I don't know what it is, I don't know what the price is, but I'm assuming if you're hitting the under 2.5, you're gonna lay some chalk. Might as well just play Leroy Duncan by knockout or inside the distance, because I do think even if Rodriguez takes him down, I'm expecting Leroy Duncan to get back up, and whenever it's on the feet at all times, I think he's live for the knockout here. So yeah, Leroy Duncan inside the distance.
Under 2.5 is minus 175. Under 1.5 is plus 120 for the totals.
Yeah, I mean, Rodriguez is dangerous. You can't say he's not. The dude is a tank, and I love watching him fight. But CLD is just so much more durable here. So
he's too hittable for me personally. That's why I lean CLD as well. I just think RoboCop is just way too hittable. Gets touched way too often, and once CLD finds his range, sets everything up, I think it's going to be
and keep in mind, he's taking this on short notice. Like that's a big piece here.
Yeah, and you need to travel.
Drav, anything from you, or do we move on to the next one?
Yeah, you guys broke it down perfectly. To be honest, the only thing I'll add is I think CLD is going to use RoboCop pressure against him to time his spinning shit. Like, the guy's so creative, and I think he's going to walk. I think RoboCop's going to walk into something.
Someone said that. Here.
Yeah, spinning elbow. Yeah, I really see it, to be honest. I think he's going to walk into something. He's very hittable, and CLD is super creative with his striking. And I also believe CLD footwork is going to cause some problems to RoboCop. And he did learn his lesson in the Petrosyan fight. By the way, I back Armin Petrosyan. He was plus money there, and he kind of outclassed him because CLD was doing dumb stuff. But since then, he switched camp. He went training with Leon Edward. Shout out Marlo. He told me about it. So yeah, since then he improved his game. You can see he looked better. Granted, it was not against the best competition, but you can see the guy's improving. He's putting the work in, and I think the grappling upside of RoboCop is overrated here in this matchup. CLD, if he gets taken down, I think he's gonna get up. I don't think he's gonna get submitted. I do think if RoboCop were to finish him, it's probably gonna be a KO because the guy does hit like a truck and he's going to pressure him and he's going to land some bombs. But I do think CLD is way more durable. And I also think he's going to be the one getting a knockout. And because of RoboCop style, all I'm going to add is I do think it's going to come early. CLD does love to get his read and to kind of finish people round 2, maybe round 3 some fights. But because of the pressure RoboCop's going to put on him, I do think the fight's going to end in the first round. And CLD is going to be the one knocking him out with a like highlight KO reel on the main card.
All right. Next fight, we got King Green versus Paddy Pimblett. King Green, 37, or Bobby Green, 37, 5'10", 71-inch reach. Paddy Pimblett is 29, 5'10", with a 73-inch reach. Straight pick 'em across the board for these two gentlemen. I'll go first. I think this is a Paddy Pimblett fight here. It's I know a lot of people are thinking this is going to be a fraud check spot. For me personally, I think, King Green's probably got the benefits on the feet. Paddy leaves his chin high. He gets hit at times. But I think the grappling disparity is kind of huge here. I think if Paddy's able to get the takedown or take his back, he could probably finish Bobby Green pretty early here. I got me in my Telegram. We gave out Paddy Pimblett plus 160. I think he's decided at dog price at a pick 'em. I think it's still fair. I still think Paddy wins here. We've seen Bobby Green, viciously knocked out against Turner. I was on Jim Miller last fight. Jim Miller hurt him, didn't finish him, but he hurt him last fight. Other than that, he got a 9-second knockout against Dawson, beat up old Cody Ferguson. And then Jaron Gordon, I think, was looking good until the head clash. So, I don't know. I don't think Bobby Green's anything special. I don't think he ever really was either. So people just like him because he's like a fan favorite. But I don't know. I think Paddy Pimblett's a spot here. Drav, what do you think?
I'm not as confident as you are, but I do think Paddy gets the job done based on a couple factors. I do think Bobby is regressing a little bit. The durability is on the decline for sure. He used to have that insane chin, but now he doesn't. He got knocked out against Turner, a very bad knockout, obviously. Paddy, you can say what you want about his striking. He's super hittable. He's another guy who has the chin up in the air, but he does hit hard, and he's dangerous in the first round. He has some cardio concern, obviously, but to his credit, he's in the best shape of his entire career right now. He's taking it seriously. And they're trying to setting him up, to be honest. Like, let's be real here. Bobby Green is not a good finisher. He's kind of a decision machine. And again, I said this for another fight, but what is best path to victory here? It's a decision and probably a close one. That's the way I see it. Is he the better striker? Yes. He's a decent wrestler himself, and he has a ton of experience. Maybe he can be piecing up Paddy a little bit, but I do think Paddy has all the grappling upside. I think he hits harder. He has more finishing upside. He has the career trajectory all on his side. He's fighting at home. So yeah, you have a lot of factors you need to factor into it, more than just the tapes and the striking or the wrestling. It's the way I see it personally. And I do think Paddy's the one to get this one done, to be honest. I'm not sure KO sub or decision. I do think he's live to finish him, but yeah, I'm not too confident about it.
So just a little tidbit here. I said he was minus. I said just to go back a fight, CLD was minus 140, minus 136 on FanDuel. That line has moved to minus 154 on FanDuel and minus 150 on DraftKings. So did we move the line? I don't know, but we're at right now. I don't know. Maybe we did. Key, how about you? What are you thinking for Paddy versus King Green?
Yeah, I played Paddy super early. Again, I think there's a lot of value on this card if you caught some of the early spots. And some of it sat up for a very long time. I played Paddy at plus 165 gladly. I think this is –
that's pod right here.
I think that this is a big time jump for Paddy, but I think that he's ready for it, honestly. I mean, the guy hits hard. I mean, he bangs, he bangs, and whenever he gets on the back, I mean, it's around there, it's the fight. The guy's legit a good grappler. Like, you can't, like, I know the gimmick and people hate him, and he's gotten some fights that he probably didn't deserve. But the guy legit has tools. Like, that can't be denied. Now, the chin up in the air, all that shit, yeah, that's super scary. And I think that he's waiting to get chinned one of these days in the UFC. But Bobby's throwing a lot of straight stuff. Bobby's going to play around, and Bobby's going to waste minutes. He should have finished Jim Miller. I had a Jim Miller plus 550 KO prop in that fight, and Jim rocked him early on and just couldn't find success after that. But Bobby should have finished him late. But Bobby's playing. He's talking to the crowd. That's all stuff that I'm not looking to deal with if I'm looking to bet on you. Paddy's locked in whenever he gets in the cage. There is no more gimmicks. He's going to come to fight. And I think that in front of his home crowd, it's his biggest test yet. And I think that he's going to pass this test, whether that be a close-ish decision or he ends up chinning him. I think the plus 600 on DK is actually kind of interesting for Bobby, who is – I know that the KO is not on the record in that Jared Gordon fight, but he did go unconscious in that fight. Or no, that was Jared Gordon that went unconscious in that fight. I'm tripping. I was thinking about my Nasrat bet. But yeah. Bobby has taken a lot of damage over the years. Dober, Turner was absolutely a disgusting knockout. And then Jim Miller did rock him early on, like I mentioned. So I think that Pimblett's going to get in his face. And if Bobby comes down the stretch, it is what it is. At plus 165, I'm willing to find out. And I think that all plus money is good money on Pimblett this week.
Okay. McPick, close out on this one, then we'll go to the next fight.
Yeah, not much to add. I mean, Paddy fighting in England, it's already been proven. Even if you beat Paddy by decision, you're going to lose, aka Jared Gordon. And I think that Paddy's getting Bobby at the right time. Bobby's 37 years old. He's previously was known for his durability, but that's been tested of late. Paddy, never been knocked out. Bobby's slick with it, high volume, good cardio. He's a veteran, credit to him. But I think Paddy's getting him at the right time, so I'm picking Paddy too.
All right. Next fight, we got our co-main event, Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. Tom Aspinall, 31, 6'5" with a 78-inch reach. Curtis Blades, 33, 6'4" with an 80-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, Tom Aspinall anywhere from minus 350 to minus 400. Blades anywhere from plus 310 to plus 290. McPicks, we'll start with you. A lot of people on Twitter are saying this line is way too wide. I disagree. I think Tom Aspinall is going to knock him out pretty early. FanDuel is giving out -140 knockout in round, or any Tom Aspinall any way he wants, rounds 1, 2, and 3 for -140. I think there's plenty of value there. I think if he gets it done, I think he's got the shortest fight time in the UFC, Tom Aspinall. So that's value to me. I think that's how I played it. Played that pretty big. Yeah, so that's how I played it. What do you think? Is this
I agree with
line too wide or no?
Maybe the money line is a little too wide, just because it's a bit of a question mark if the fight gets extended. But then again, everyone's assuming that Aspinall has bad cardio. We just haven't seen it, So I think it's an assumption to assume that he's going to gas out if the fight gets extended. But I don't think it's going to get extended. I actually FanDuel opened up a lot of these props for the main event and the co-main event like previously, and I hit a lot of the ones in this fight. I hit Aspinall knockout +115, under 1.5 was like -116. Aspinall round 1, round 2 knockout. Aspinall round 1 knockout was like +300. That kind of got hit good too. But yeah, I mean, Aspinall is just one of those fighters. Like you don't see this type of athleticism at the heavyweight division. It's almost unmatched. The only guy I could think of is like Cyril Gane. He's also like super athletic, but he doesn't have the power. I don't think that Aspinall has. Like Cyril Gane is athletic. He doesn't have the pop like Aspinall, the explosiveness that Aspinall has. And Blades is also a very good fighter, but he's shown in the past he likes to stand and strike. He has been going to his wrestling. He's obviously has a wrestling advantage here. But even in their first fight, in the original fight, it didn't last long, right? But they were striking, and actually Blades seemed like he was catching Aspinall a couple times, but I just think that Aspinall is going to find the chin of Blades. I mean, this guy is so fast. His hands are insane. And I think he knocks him out in the first round. That's how I think this one goes.
Okay. Drav, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, the only 1.5 earlier was good. Aspinall, I think all of his wins in the UFC came under 1.5. And Blades can crack. That's a heavyweight fight. So I guess he has some upside as well, just because of the way Tom fight. But I do think he's going to be too fast, too powerful for him. And Blades has a tendency to get chin in big spots like that. But to his credit, I do believe that he has the better cardio. To your point, Nick Pick, we just don't really know. But Aspinall, when he got into round 2 against Arlovski, looks like he was slowing down a bit. And when you have a guy like that that's just not used to do it, you can't assume they will gas, but you can have a suspicion that they will. But with that being said, I don't think if you want to bet Blades or if you want to bet Aspinall money line, I do think it's wide peg. I don't think the money line is the way to go for him. But I don't really like betting Blades here at +300 either. The reasons why is you can wait and bet him live if you want, because you can wait to see the first 2-3 minutes. You can see if Blades is trying to shoot takedowns. And if Blades gets on top, he has a pretty nasty ground and pound, We just don't really know how Tom's going to play off his back. We just never seen it. And Blades can crack on the feet. Now, if the fight go past the first round, you probably want to be on Blades' side, but you want to see Tom's body language and how the fight's playing out. And you're probably going to have the option to play Blades at like the same price as now, or maybe even better, because he's probably going to lose first round if he doesn't get finished. So I do think it's better to wait and play him live, because you avoid the early finishing upside of Aspinall. And I believe the most likely outcome, like you guys said, is Aspinall KO1. I think that's how he gets it done personally. So yeah, I did play the under 1.5, but I also think you can get a little bit, you can get creative with Blades props. If you go round 2-3 for him, that's like big ass numbers. And to his credit, he does have a lot of finishes in round 2. And we just don't know about Tom, his cardio and shit like that. You can get like +14, +1,800, and then plus 2,000 or stuff like that, +3,000 in round 3. So I just feel like based on what we kind of think, it could be a good angle to play it rather than playing his money line or just wait live. But ultimately, I think Tom's is going to win it. I think he's going to get a first round knockout. So I understand your angles, and I think it's the most likely outcome for sure.
All right. Key, how about you?
Yeah, I think that his money line price is absolutely insane, to be honest. But I say all that to say that Tom Aspinall is most likely going to knock him out. Like McPicks, I'm glad to know that I wasn't one of the only ones. Me and my guys weren't the only ones that smashed that Tom Aspinall KO early on FanDuel. I mean, those were insane prices. Plus 115, and we caught some of the KO 1 through 3, round 1, round 2, round 3, all that stuff. I think this is a pretty clear-cut spot. Money line, yeah, is a value on Curtis Blades, yes. From a money line perspective, yeah, but this is an easy spot in my opinion. Aspinall and Gane is the matchup I want to see. You don't see athletes like that. Tom has the horsepower and can really get after and sit down on some of his shots, and Gane is super nimble and moves like a middleweight. That's the fight that that's probably my dream fight at heavyweight. I know people talk about John Jones and stuff, but that's my dream fight personally. I really would love to see that. I think Aspinall gets it done. It's going to be very interesting to see the pressure that the fans put on the UFC to give Aspinall John Jones next, because that's what everybody's for sure going to be asking for. Jesus Christ.
Whoa.
But I think that Tom Aspinall is going to get it done here in front of the home crowd. There's a setup spot. Curtis Blades is super sad that he just could never get over the hump. He's probably going to go down as one of those good heavyweights that just never was able to get that belt, even though he had some of the tools and is one of those rare elite heavyweight wrestlers. And I did have Almeida at like plus 100, but yeah, I'll scream to my therapist or some shit about that next time. So yeah, but Tom Aspinall KO.
Yeah. Like I said, Aspinall KO 1, 2, 3 is minus 140 in the special props on FanDuel. I think that's the way to play it. Main event time. Leon, again, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We're giving you some of the best bets on the market, most profitable podcasts on the market. We do it all for free for you guys. So just a like and a subscribe. It's free to do that. It's the least you guys could do. Main event, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Leon Edwards, 32'6'2" with a 74-inch reach. Bilal Muhammad, 36'5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Leon Edwards anywhere from minus 235 to minus 250. Bilal Muhammad anywhere from plus 210 to plus 225. I'll go first. I think Bilal Muhammad wins this fight. And the only reason I think that is because boo. Bilal Muhammad wins this fight, and even if you take the dog shot at plus 200, it's worth a shot. Leon Edwards can get taken down. Leon Edwards can get broken. People forget about fight 1 with Usman, where sure he won by that best KO of all time. He was getting smashed for 24 and a half minutes before he got the KO.
That's not true. He won the first round.
You watched he won the first round and got smashed the rest of it. Sorry. You watched the Colby fight. Colby fight looked like shit. He had a broken leg, broken foot, whatever excuse he had. Once he started wrestling, finding the takedowns later in the fight, if I remember correctly, looked pretty damn good. Bilal's not an idiot. Bilal's not going to be here and flashy and try and strike with him. Bilal's on all the juice right now. He's looking shredded. He looks like he's in great shape. He wrestles here and starts wrestling early. He can make Leon fade later. Drav just left because he's scared because he doesn't want to say Leon Edwards after I just gave this breakdown. But yeah, I played Bilal to win by decision plus 360 on FanDuel. I think it's still fair. We obviously know he's boring. He's going to get that decision. So I think if he wins by decision, and plus 360, it's worth the shot. McPicks, you go next. What are you thinking here for the main event?
I agree with you. I'm going Bilal in the main event as well. I'm picking the underdog to win, and new. You can say that Leon, he's obviously fighting in his home country. He's going to have the fan support. He's bigger, he's younger, he's better striker. Just something about Bilal. Now, the dude is on a tear, a quiet tear. No one gives him credit for it. He has a crazy work ethic, crazy high work rate when he's fighting. Awesome cardio, grappling upside. I just think that he wants it more. I think he wants it more. I think he wants to win the belt more than Leon wants to defend the belt. And, I just feel that he's going to eventually like I said, there's a striking discrepancy here. Leon's a better striker, but Bilal does great with his forward pressure, pace, and I think he has a better cardio here. And I think that he eventually will implement some grappling and just win a decision. So I'm going Bilal.
Yep. Key, what do you think here?
Yeah, I guess us three were a happy home this week. I'm a Bilal guy. I bet Bilal at plus 115, I believe, against Sean Brady. That was one of my first book bets, actually. And I'm glad to do it here. I bet Leon at plus 210 in the Usman rematch, and I bet Colby. And Colby decided to come in and then break his foot in round one, and from there just sat there like a punching bag. And the lack of activity from Leon is just super concerning, in my opinion. The guy just does not use his physical tools like it seems like he can or should. The flashes that he does give us, it's beautiful stuff. But I think the Bilal, I know that he's going to come in with a smart game plan. And in that, I feel very good at any big dog. I know having confidence that they're going to come in and not look like Dion Barbosa or some crazy shit and just do stupid shit. He's going to get in his face. He's going to wrestle. He's going to clinch. Some of the clinch breaks do concern me because Leon does have good elbows and knees. And the head kick does concern me too. But I have to think that Bilal is game planning for that, and Bilal's going to get on the inside. He's going to make this dirty. And in terms of cardio, I know that Bilal is just going to be an absolute monster and just go the whole time, whole 5 rounds. I feel like in England, I feel like that doesn't bother Bilal. If anything, that's going to fuel him more.
He said he wanted that from like years ago. He said he wanted to take the belt from Leon in Manchester. He said that.
Yeah, so I think that this is a very clear at these odds, I'm very, very comfortable backing Bilal. I'm not worried about if Leon decides to offensively grapple. We'll see what rounds 4 and 5 look like. Because I don't think that Leon's gas tank is ready to offensively grapple against Bilal.
Bilal's tough to take down anyway. His takedown defense is nasty.
So I think that Bilal's gonna eat him up in round 4 and 5. If Leon justifies this price tag, I will say the early KO props are fine if you really do think that Leon is just going to absolutely cook him. But in my opinion, if this goes to a decision, I have a very, very hard time thinking that Leon's going to justify this price tag consistently if they fight 10 times. So for that reason, I gotta lean Bilal. And so plus 220, it was a pretty easy click for me.
Yeah, I like Bilal plus 220. Also, Bilal to win 1 round and he goes to the distance, no matter which way it goes. So Bilal plus 5.5 is plus 100. That's interesting.
It's 2 rounds.
Huh?
It's 2 rounds.
He has to win 2 rounds for plus 5.5 to cover.
Yeah, I do think so.
Either way, I think he wins 4 and 5 at a pretty high clip. If it goes there, he win early too. Yeah, go ahead. We all picked Bilal. Who are you gonna pick?
Do you hear me correctly? I had some problems with my mic.
Yeah,
we hear you. You're good.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, so just to make it clear, we're not a Bilal Muhammad podcast. I know you guys talk about him, but we're not a Bilal Muhammad podcast, and I don't think you win this fight. I get the value aspect about the bet. Bilal has been very profitable as an underdog. I understand the point, but just rewatching the first fight, he was piecing him up pretty badly. He hurt him. Muhammad was not really shooting takedowns. He couldn't get him down anyways. And I think Edwards has stepped up as a fighter a lot in the last 2 years since he fought Usman. And say what you want about the second fight, Peg, but in the third fight, he won a decision against him. Like, the guy's improving. He has the power, the speed. He's gonna be the one doing more damage, in my opinion. He's the one fighting at home. I gave him all the finishing upside here. I'll be kind of shocked if Muhammad finish him, but I do see a finish for Edwards here, and I think that's how he covers his price tag. So I guess that's where we disagree. I do think he's going to finish him at some point. It's more of when. I have a feeling it's going to be in round 3. He could hurt him with a head kick. It could be a elbow in the clinch. It could be a knee in the clinch break. Edwards is pretty fast and he's powerful when he wants to. Just that sometimes he doesn't really push finishes, which is annoying. But you can see he's very talented. And we can talk about Lyman being in great shape, but I mean Edwards in phenomenal shape. So, and yeah, he's the champ, and to beat the champ, you have to, I think Mohamed path to victory again here is a close decision. I don't give him any finishing upside. I don't think he's going to clean Edwards and win like 4 or 3 rounds convincingly. So you just in the UFC hate him. It's just hard for me to see him winning it, to be honest. But I do understand the value aspect at the price. But at some point he's going down with a head kick, headshot, dead, bang.
Yeah, Leon by sub live. Drav. He wants to know if Leon by sub is live.
I do think it's live, to be honest. I wouldn't
tell us more. Tell us more, Drav. Why is him by sub live?
I wouldn't play the KO. If I were to play his finish prop, I'll go round 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5 or ITD. Leon has been improving and working on his grappling a lot these last few years, and you can see he's putting the work in. He's looking way better on the ground. And if you were to submit him, I think you would need to hurt Mohamed first and then jump on his back or something. But I do think it's a sub is live.
Leon by sub.
What do you
Leon
say?
by sub? Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy, this guy.
Sleep on them eyes.
No, I do think it's live, bro. If he hurt him and he gets on top, I think he could submit him. I mean,
it's gonna miss wide, and he's gonna go, "Yo, value was there. It was a good bet. Would bet again." Classic, classic MMA Twitter shit.
I'm not one of these guys, and you should know it by now. But but I'm not saying to play sub. I'm just saying I could see some submission upside, and I wouldn't play the KO for the small difference. I will go ITD if I were to place finish round. That's my point. I don't think it's likely, but I could see it being live. Yeah,
round 3.
I don't think it's gonna come late. Yeah, but 3. Yeah, exactly. It's a small difference. Like what, plus 275 the KO, and it's like plus 200 the ITD. It's a 5 rounders, bro. And I mean they're gonna grapple. So yeah.
All right, let's do the BTL parlay. Guys, that's the show. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe. BTL parlay time. You already know who I'm taking. Mick Parkin money line, minus 280. Who wants to go next?
Give me Tom Aspinall knockout.
Okay.
I don't think
what's the line on that?
I don't think we can party that on Bet Online. It's minus 175.
Oh, it's got to be Bet Online. Okay. All right, someone else go.
Key, what do you got for us? Molly McCann, minus 350.
Oh, Leon sub, bro. This is the value there. We got to go with it. I think that let's see, CLD money line.
Minus 138. You can go make picks. I'll go last. I'm not sure yet.
I was the only
all
one
right.
prepared. Huh?
Let me get the under 1.5 in the co-main then.
Okay. What's the odds on that?
Minus 165.
All right, so minus 165. Peg, you took Mick Parkin, right?
Yeah.
It's
minus 280.
Yeah, minus 280, and then
he
took a CLD at minus 138, and I'm gonna take. Let's go Arnold Allen minus 220. It gave us plus 447, plus 447.
Plus 447. All right, so the BTL parlay again is Mick Parkin money line minus 280, Arnold Allen minus 220, CLD minus 138, and under 1.5 for Aspinall Blades minus 165.
I think it cashes, to be honest.
For plus 447. Dude, whenever Mick picks is on, it does cash. So let's hope we keep that.
Let's lock it in right now. I think it cashed, bro. Yeah,
I think it's undefeated, right? This is my third time being on here.
I think it is. Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, it's always a good one.
Rolling.
All right, guys. So you guys can put all your scam shit that you do where you sell picks online and all that. You guys can plug those. Guys, my Telegram's in my bio. It's free. I give out free picks every week, all the time. Everything's always free. I'm a man of the people. Big picks. Go ahead. Give yours first.
Imagine having a guest on our podcast and calling him a scammer in front of How could you?
In front of this whole audience.
Yeah.
Come on,
Go ahead,
Bang.
go ahead, Nick
Be
Picks.
better.
What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have a Twitter at McPicksMMA. I also have a Dub Club. I post all my bets. You get access to a private Discord where we shoot the shit. We talk about MMA. I also post live betting angles, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, mostly I post all my stuff on Twitter.
All right, Drav.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna the BTL is gonna lock it in right now. Yeah, same thing. Joy__ on Twitter. My Dub Club is in my bio, where I post every bets, every breakdown that I do. My bet MMA tips is also linked in my Twitter. You could see I'm up 62 units on the year. And yeah, so this week, this card's a big one for me, to be honest. I have many plays, and I'm very confident in my plays. And also, I have 3 bets locked in for Cage Warrior, which is tomorrow. We swept Cage Warrior last week. Me and he killed it. So we go back at it this week. I'm probably going to have a bet or two that I want to save after the show. So it's going to be a decent card. But this UFC 304 card is money, and we agree on most of the cards. So that's good. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah, key 3 picks. Like Drav said, leave a like and subscribe. Dub Club, $20 a month. Click the link in my bio. You can get 50% off right now. We have live bets, prize picks, underdog fantasy, DFS cores, better app, book bets. We're up over 61 units this year, and we're going to keep on rolling. I'm excited for this card. This is one of my biggest cards in a long time. We just swept Cage Warriors, Octagon, and KSW last week. Clean sweep across all of those organizations. And so we'll continue that and keep on rolling. So plus EV stuff in the Discord, a whole bunch of smart minds. So come in and lock in with us.
The show, McPick, joining us again. I appreciate you guys watching us, and we'll see you guys next week for UFC Abu Dhabi. Peace. This is the worst.